Hey folks, John Henning here with the Franchise Radio Show, and today we are joined by Richard Marsh, the CEO and founder of SafeShip Franchising. Hi Richard, thanks for joining us.
Good morning. How are you doing, John?
I'm just doing just great. Thanks for joining us again. Richard, before we get into too much information on the business side of everything in franchising, can you go through with us just a little bit about yourself, your bio, background, history, that kind of thing?
Sure. It's not an uncommon background, I guess. I have owned a packing and shipping store for the last 10 years. Before that, was always in sales and marketing. I had a great job of doing 3-year contracts with different businesses that were looking to upgrade the sales of their companies and to do the things that an owner would need to do to a store to change things, to be more customer service oriented, more customer oriented, and to grow. It'd be an organization that I would go into that was just floundering. Let's say that their sales had gotten to a point where they were not increasing like they should, and in most cases, it's a problem at the highest level of management where an owner normally can only take a business so far because of the way that he wants to do business. It's not always a way that allows him to move into the future, to see what's going on in the future and service his customers more professionally. So I would go in and help them make the changes they would need, usually done on a 3-year contract, and had great success with a lot of different stores. So,
and for the past 10 years, you owned and operated your pack and ship type store, right?
Yes, we get into this. The last business I actually helped was a company based out of Taiwan. We brought their product into the United States, and we had done a very good job with it. And 2 years into my 3-year contract, we had noticed good sales in South America. Because of that, some guy named Jack Welch with GE had figured out that we were kind of being a thorn to his business in South America, and he came in and bought the company. So I was in one of those lucky situations called a golden parachute, and not being able to totally retire at that age, because I wasn't quite at that point, 50. I had to find something else to do, so we had looked into different businesses, and I saw this packing and shipping kind of thing, and I thought, that could be kind of fun. It looks like you could have a lot of fun with it, and it looks like in a lot of cases that there's a lot of room to grow. And 2 years into our store, our first store, we had noticed that we were growing quite rapidly, so we opened up a second store and then bought out a local store that had the SafeShip name that I just absolutely love the name, because it really tells you what you really want to know about what we do. We ship it safe. So we took over the 3 stores, and about 2 years later, we started winning awards for being the largest packing and shipping store in the United States. At that time, people told us we should franchise the concept, and we were reluctant to do that because we weren't really sure that a lot of the franchise companies out there really cared about making the franchisees successful. But after doing about 1.5 to 2 years of research along in the IFA, the International Franchise Association, and with other franchise companies, we decided that we'd set out to do it. And we started franchising our concept in 2008. And since that period of time, we're up, I think the next store will be store number 22. And then we've got 2 more online into next year already that once their locations are built up, then we will add those into our family fold. And that's kind of how we got into doing all this.
Now go ahead.
Go ahead.
Let's talk about the differentiators in your business. What is it that makes your concept, SafeShip, unique from all the other pack and ship type concepts that are out there?
Well, we actually do ship anything and everything, anywhere and everywhere. It's quite unique because you'll have all the packing and shipping stores out there saying we ship anything. Then you go in and say, well, I have got this painting that's 8 feet long, 4 feet wide, weighs about 71 pounds, and I need to get this shipped up to Christie's auction house, and it's worth about $400,000. And my guess is 99 out of 100 other packing and shipping stores will tell you, well, we can't do that.
Oh, boy, yeah, we don't mean that, right.
Exactly. But we do. We can do that. I think the most expensive thing that any of our stores has ever shipped was a $2.5 million painting that went up to Christie's in Chicago and was sold at auction. That's how we know it was $2.5 million. And
wow.
we did the packing. It actually came out of my store here in Ormond Beach, Florida.
Okay.
And we teach our franchisees to do things exactly the same way we do, because what we do works. Our packing teaching is much more extensive than anything else you'll find in the industry. But one of the other things is we have this amazing machine called a Box Maker Pro, and that allows you to make your own custom boxes that are very thick. We have made boxes thick enough that you could shoot at it with a .22 and the bullet would not penetrate the box. And there's instances where you need that type of protection on a very expensive painting. So it's one of these things where we actually have researched everything we do to the point where we know how to do anything and everything. There's nothing we can't ship.
Great. So just to clarify, you've not had to ever turn a client away then for shipping something?
Only
as long as it was legal, right?
Yes, exactly. That's the other question. Sometimes what they do want to ship, they can't ship.
Right.
Okay, and then we can only do legal stuff to certain areas. And it's the same thing internationally. There are tremendous rules and regulations about what you can get into some countries and what you can't. So you have to be careful to know all of that that's going on as well. But yes, if it's legal to ship it, yes, we definitely can ship it anywhere in the country, anywhere in the world.
Let's talk about a few of the numbers. How much does it cost the average person to open up a Safe Ship franchise?
Well, one of the things we wanted was that in business, it's very important for the business owner to start being able to see a profit within 6 months, start being able to know that 6 months into what he's doing, it's starting to make money, and he's going to be able to continue to make money. It's important because if you start a business and you're a year into it and you're still not turning a profit, it can get very discouraging. So the mental side of this is important. So we decided we're going to start this out, and it'll be less expensive than everybody else out there. Our franchise fee is only $19,900. Now, if you're a veteran, we're going to take $5,000 off of that because we're proud of you that you served as in the military here in the United States. Then the store build-out, the entire store, is only another $69,900. So you can get into this business for less than $90,000, which is a lot less expensive than everybody else out there.
Sure.
The reason for that is simple. The Safe Ship concept is like a glorified, high-class looking warehouse-type store. It's very open to the people. You sell different items that the people want to sell. And if you're a franchisee that has a love for, let's say you want to do like our people did in Las Vegas. They wanted a specialty gift shop along with their store. We have no problem making sure that our franchisee makes this store his store. I mean, it's his store. He has to look at this and say, I'm not going to work. I'm going to where I have fun at my store. So this is the whole reason that we put everything into it the way that we do. It's not difficult.
Is there financing available for any of that investment, or is that something that someone needs to bring to the table as a qualified buyer?
Well, what we do, we are SBA approved, and we also work with people like Benetrends and other people that we ourselves cannot, because we're highly controlled by the government since we're a franchise company. We ourselves cannot do the financing, but we work with people like I say, Benetrends, SBA, and we have 2 or 3 of our stores that are SBA financed. So we will help our franchisee with all of that. Mike Lacey, one of our keen people here, is a former banker, and he is just excellent at that kind of stuff as well.
Okay, great. Are there any other qualifications that a franchisee needs to have? What kind of person are you looking for besides being financially qualified, of course? What other qualifications do they need to have?
Probably the things that everybody respects in a businessman. Number one, honesty, integrity, a willingness to work. This will be the hardest job you've ever loved. Starting a business it can be tough, because there's a lot of mental stress that goes on as you're looking at it going, well, how am I sure that I'm going to be okay? And this is one of the things that we do check out rather rigorously. We talk to our franchisees, our prospective franchisees. We want to know who they are. We want to know if they think like we do when it comes to business, that the customer is the most valuable part of what you do. You have to make sure that the customer is taken care of. It doesn't mean you let the customer run you, but it means if you are professional and you know what you're talking about, it's really kind of impossible for the customer to really get the better side of you or to take advantage of you because you know what you're doing. And that's the way we teach our franchisees the business so that they know what they're doing so they don't have to be afraid. But also, we work with our franchisees where we talk to them daily to make sure that if there is a problem coming up, that they know how to handle it well and into advance. Because this is more of a mentoring. I have been blessed in my lifetime having 2 millionaires as mentors. The things that you learn from a mentor just by talking to them on a daily basis, you pull that attitude and that wisdom that somebody who is successful in business, you pull it into your own mind and you can start using it yourself. It's the way that we look at this. I think that's just the way that the franchise business is supposed to be, that it's somebody who is already successful mentoring someone to help them become successful.
Now, talking about mentoring and helping them, what type of startup assistance and training is provided to the franchisees when they purchase the franchise with you?
We put them through a lot. We're going to do 2 solid weeks with them. We bring them to Florida to our master store, which is a very busy store, and we teach them everything we would teach an employee that was going to run the store, so that by the time they're done with their first week here, they are pretty much running the store. That can be a little scary to them, but like I've had 2 or 3 of the different franchisees tell me, by the time they finish about noon on Friday, they look at me and say, I understand how to do this. Everything makes sense. I can do this. Now, the next thing we do is we will, while they're here in Florida starting their training, we're finishing up the build-out of their store. So on Monday morning after they leave here, they're opening up their store. And it's one other step that we're always there for. We're there for their very first week of operation because it's different. I mean, yes, you can run my store. You know everything that you're doing here in my store, but now this is a different store. This is your store.
Right.
So we're there standing behind them, making sure that everything is set so that, again, by the end of the second week, their second week's training, they are comfortable in their store, doing their store the right way so that they're taking care of their customers the best way.
Now, you mentioned earlier here about the type of location. Can you elaborate just a little bit on that, by what you meant? What type of location is needed for this type of business in your model?
We are using probably 2 different basic types. What we're looking for mostly is visible accessibility from a major road. And either that or we will be looking toward a position within a strong strip mall type area where, let's say, you've got in our area here a good Publix supermarket or a Winn-Dixie supermarket or something of that nature where you've got traffic already built up, and then we get as close to that building as we can. But in this business, your store is a destination. So we promote it as a destination. We do a lot of work within the strip mall area where the store will be located, but we also do things like Valpak and other mailings into the local area to make sure that the local people know that the store is available there. So we also, and depending on the area, we may even also do some radio advertising to bring about another awareness. But it's one of these things where we take a look at the demographics of an area, of course, to make sure that the majority of the people, our customer base exists from someone who's, let's say, 35 to 70 years old. And people that are a little bit higher income, people that have the money, because what we're looking for is we want them to allow us to do the packing for them as well as making sure that we get the best prices for them on UPS, FedEx, DHL, the post office, and Greyhound, people like that.
Okay. Now, you mentioned one piece of one of the differentiators there earlier, and I want to just make sure that everyone understands what we're talking about there. That's a piece of equipment, the box maker that you mentioned. You can use the right name there in a minute, but is there other inventory or any other large pieces of equipment needed for this business?
No, not really. The BoxMaker Pro is our very own design, and it's one of our own machines. We're in the process of patenting it. It is only available through SafeShip.
Oh,
It's
gotcha.
one of those.
Okay.
It's a neat machine. If let's say that you're taking a guitar to a store and to get them to pack it and to ship it. And where we are here in Florida, we have some wonderful retirees from the old rock groups like the Crying Shames, Dr. Hook, and the Medicine Show. People like that I'm sure the listeners out there that are my age will definitely remember and go, oh yeah, they had some pretty good songs. And the kids out there will go, I never heard of these people, but that's okay.
Right.
They're missing the good music anyway. But anyway, we had one of the guys in here from the Crying Shames who had, over his period in the business, picked up 42 different guitars. He wanted to ship a guitar that was $4,000, and he wanted to have it packed and shipped. He had been to one of our competitors here locally, and they were going to charge him $318 to ship it. And he was just livid. He said, it's ridiculous. And I told him, well, the way that they would pack it is they would telescope boxes together, then fill the box with a ton of peanuts, and then because of the $4,000 insurance cost, they're probably going to have to ship it by air. And he said, well, yeah, that's what they told me. And I said, well, here. And I went over in a box that we had made in our BoxMaker Pro. I kicked the box, moved it probably about 15 feet. When I turned back around, his eyes were bugging out because he couldn't believe I did that. But he also said, you didn't even leave a mark on the box. I said, no. I said, we pack these to make sure nothing happens. There's only two ways to really destroy something in shipping. One is a direct intrusion into the box and into the product, and the other is vibration. So we have to know how to handle both of these things, which we do. When we use our own BoxMaker Pro machine, we can custom make a box to the exact size after we properly pack it. The product that he was going to send was going to cost him $318,000 at one of our competitors. We did it for him for $98. Obviously, that customer has been back to our store many times to ship more things.
Right, I would suppose so, yeah.
Because what we do is do it the right way. And again, just to let you know, that was quite profitable for us to pack and to ship this guitar. And it didn't cost the guy an arm and a leg like one of our competitors wanted, but they didn't have the ability to do what we do because we can make a custom box. And that custom box saves a lot of money because of the dimensional weight issues within the industry, and then just having it packed correctly. So this is what we do for a living.
Now let's talk about staffing. How many employees, if any, does a franchisee usually have in one of the SafeShip locations?
In the beginning, it's set up as a one-man store, and you can normally handle that through the year. When you get to the Christmas time, then you will probably want to add one employee in your second year of operation. After that, you will know. When it starts to get painful that you can't hang on and do the business yourself, then you'll start to bring a person in part-time. But we, again, work with our franchisees, and when they start to talk to us and say, well, this is what's going on, we'll tell them, okay, here's what I would be looking for. I'd be looking for a part-time person to come in about 4 hours a day and to help you pack. And we will even train their employees here at our location if they want us to. Or usually by that time they're very comfortable knowing what they're doing, and they will do the training the same way we train them. That the packing is the most important part, and once you learn how to pack, then you know how to wait on a customer and to form the prices for your packing and shipping jobs.
Now, what's a franchise owner doing every day in the business? Is there a general day-to-day, this is what they're going to be doing? Does it vary every day? Can you give us an idea of what they do?
Probably the fun part is that it varies a lot, because each day you're going to get somebody different coming in with some other different item that you've never seen before that they need shipped, and they need to make sure it was done correctly. But the job is relatively simple. You're waiting on customers. It's a retail position. You're looking for the best price for UPS or for FedEx or for DHL, or on the dimensional items, you're looking for pricing through Greyhound, which is a way of shipping that very few people know about, but they handle all the dimensional weight issues. Let's say you've got that item that's 60 by 30 by 30, and that's too big for UPS, too big for FedEx, but it only weighs 20 pounds. Well, you can send that by Greyhound, and instead of spending $700 to get it there by freight because the freight's going to be outlandish,
right?
Then you can ship it by Greyhound for about $150. So all of a sudden that brings into your ability to ship items that nobody else in your area can ship because they don't know how to ship with Greyhound. Well, we set up all of our new franchisees with a Greyhound account and all the information they need to use the Greyhound GPX bus service to move packages. So that is an excellent way for our franchisees to be able to ship, again, anything, anywhere. And they also ship into Canada, which is a good service in Canada as well. So it's just one of the many things that we do that other people can't do because they've never researched the industry to find all the different ways of moving an item from point A to point B like we have.
Now, what are the pitfalls or challenges in the business?
Probably the hardest thing is working with the post office. There are tremendous regulations and rules because it's a government agency, and they do things the government way. UPS has certain things that they do better than FedEx. FedEx has certain things that they do better than UPS. It's the experience factor that we bring to the table that gets our franchisees out of those problems before they happen, because we will go through that within the training.
Right.
And also the international business. The international business changes probably about every quarter as to what is acceptable for shipping into different countries and what is not acceptable, or what new rules and regulations have to be kept in mind when you ship outside of the United States again. So those are the things, is just keeping up on what's going on. But again, that is our responsibility. It's my job and my people's job to know those things in advance, to make sure that our customers know what's going on, and then to make sure our franchisees are able to tell their customers what's going on. There's some changes going on in the post office right now that require new testing. So we're finishing up ours right now, and I think all my people here have been through this, and we'll go back now to our franchisees and say, okay, this is the training mechanism. Here's a CD to handle this. Here's the things to be looking for on this, so that your people are trained properly, and so that you don't have any problems with this. If you have any questions, contact us immediately, and we'll walk you through it. That's what we do.
That might actually answer my next question, which is what's happening in the industry. Is there anything that, on the horizon here for the industry that they should be looking at and saying, hey, this is one of the reasons? And again, that might even answer that question of why someone would choose SafeShip, that you guys are already up to date on that and already going through that type of training, that kind of thing. Is there anything else to look at?
Well, again, the biggest one is going to be the post office. They have so many things going on. They're trying to save money. I feel a little sorry for a lot of the postal employees, because after next year starts, I'm thinking that we're going to see a lot of the post office areas close. Yeah. And it's the different postal service, different post office buildings are going to close. And I guess I should be a little more specific here. The United States Postal Service is different than the United States Post Office. The Postal Service is the mechanism that moves the mail from point A to point B. The Post Office is a retail place where you can buy stamps, where you can pick up your mail. Okay, yes, the Post Office is owned by the United States Postal Service, but if you look at it from that clarification, then the post offices, the retail end of this business, is what the post office is trying to eliminate portions of. And again, that's the most expensive overhead that you've got in a business. It's employees. Second is going to be bricks and mortar. Sure. Since the United States Postal Service owns the location, and they have to have employees to stock the location, then those are two things that if they close 10,000 post offices nationwide, they're going to have a tremendous savings, because they will get rid of the buildings. They will get rid of the overhead of people as well. So that's what they're looking at. What you'll see first start, and what you're seeing right now, is the sorting facilities for the United States Postal Service. Like in our state of Florida here, we used to have Jacksonville, Orlando, and Miami as the 3 sorting stations. Back in May of this year, they closed the Orlando sorting facility, so all mail is sorted either in Jacksonville or in Miami. The thing that's probably most confusing is that here we are in Ormond Beach. I'm 80 miles south of Jacksonville, but our mail is actually sent to Miami to be sorted, which is 320 miles away, which slows down our sorting process probably by a day and a half to 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of different, but that's where the stronger union is in Miami, not in Jacksonville. But again, I think eventually you may see even more of the sorting facilities close, which is going to slow the mail down even more. It's hard to see, but if the post office isn't making any money, then they can't continue doing what they're doing.
Now, is there anything new on the horizon for SafeShip? What can we look forward to for your franchise? Anything new coming up that you, without giving away any secrets, anything that you guys are working on, rolling out, expansion plans? What's on the horizon for SafeShip?
Well, the first horizon is making sure that we take care of our franchisees as good today as we did yesterday and better tomorrow than we are today. So that's the thing, is making sure that we are aware of what's going on in the industry. We don't see much changing at all except for the pricing for UPS, FedEx, and for DHL. We do see things changing in the mail service because there are other people getting into mail movement, people like DHL Global Mail, which we are a work-share partner with them. We're testing out the ability for DHL to actually move the mail for us, rather than the United States Postal Service moving the mail. They working with the post office facilities. So any mail that we now currently do through Global Mail is taken from the Global Mail sorting facility in Orlando directly to the final post office, where it's delivered by a rural letter carrier. It's a concept that was started back when Mr. Reagan was president, and something that he had felt that the post office needed to be privatized, but it never really gained a lot of ground. But the laws do exist that allow private companies to work with the post office in different ways. So this is what we're trying to do, trying to see if there's something in there. That's one of the things we're testing, to see if maybe this is a possible way to do a better mail service, a faster mail service, or a mail service where our stores can make more money on it. Currently, working with the post office, we work as like a CPU, the contract postal units, where we make about just a small margin on all the postal services. But what we're hoping to do is, by working with some of the other work-share partners, that the post office could become a more profitable area for us, because we're looking at becoming retail centers for the post office, where we actually do more of the retail business for them than is done at the regular post office facilities, the post offices. Okay.
Is there anything else, Richard, that we should know about the company? Anything you want to cover or clarify throughout this talk that we've had here that the listeners might want to listen to?
Probably the two biggest things that we do that other people haven't really gotten into yet is our Box Maker Pro, our machine that custom makes any size box that you need. It's a manual operation machine. You can make a box in about 5 minutes. And the box is a double thick cardboard, or you can go up to quadruple thick cardboard, and you can make it any size you want with our packaging techniques, along with the Box Maker, that allows us to be able to make anything. I've got one of the local stores here that makes mattresses. They're a mattress manufacturer looking for somebody to make boxes for them and to do shipping for them nationwide. And we will do that for them by making our own private boxes for the mattresses. And then we'll also use Greyhound Bus to deliver to the local terminal in the area, because since there are no rules and regulations for dimensional issues with Greyhound, we can ship it at a very good price to any location in the United States that has a Greyhound terminal within 30 miles, and it works well for those areas as well. So it's an oddity of the things that we do that cover areas that nobody else can cover. But that's those kind of abilities are the abilities that you're able to make a good amount of money on and provide a service that is totally unable to be found anywhere else.
Well, there you have it, folks. John Henning here with the Franchise Radio Show, and we're joined today by Richard Marsh, the CEO and founder of SafeShip Franchising. Richard, thanks again for joining us. We appreciate it.
Oh, thank you, John.